How's it going, everybody? This is the Velocity Squared Parkour podcast, and I'm here with,
I'm Rassel.
I'm Jeremiah.
and I'm Kenneth. All right, so
So,
how you guys doing?
Not too bad.
yeah,
Surviving.
yeah,
Surviving.
Working.
it's
Yeah.
been busy week for work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been busy for me. I feel like we just recorded the other day. Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah,
week went by
for
pretty
sure.
quick for some reason for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Haven't really been up to much at all, but
Yeah,
oh well.
yeah,
Well, anyway, so Halloween is just around the corner, and
Yeah.
however, when you guys are listening to this podcast, it will have been passed already.
yeah.
So, but doesn't mean we still can't talk about it. So, what's your guys'
Yeah.
plans for Halloween?
Well, my family's always just kind of done. We were all adopted, so we celebrated Halloween as the adoption day. So we'd just kind of
Alright.
hang out, have a lot of candy, watch movies. So I'm getting together with my siblings in Wyoming.
Is that what you're gonna do essentially?
Yeah,
Nice.
probably. I have no idea, actually. I don't know any of the plans, but I know that I'm meeting with my siblings.
Right,
That's
nice.
as far as the planning is.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Guatemala. I interned for a Christian techno band called Transform DJs.
I'm sure
And
everybody
they're-
knows about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We should.
We actually they're the guys we performed
Exactly
for
my
at,
point.
at Heaven Fest.
Yeah.
But yeah, they went last year, and it was around somewhat of like 8,000 people or so.
That's crazy.
So going back there again tomorrow, and the actual concerts on Halloween. So yeah, it should be pretty exciting. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on for me. What about you?
I'm not doing much, just like I haven't been for the past few weeks. Just kind of kicking back, chilling, and
Nice.
I'll be probably playing some games with my buddy. But other than that, just if I hear the doorbell ring, I will just be like, oh, gotta hide. It'll be the first Halloween I've actually done that with because I'm lazy. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because I didn't buy any candy to give out. I didn't put up any decorations. But
Yeah, people don't realize that parkour practitioners are actually lazier than most people because
I
we
know.
find the most efficient way to get
yeah,
you know.
work smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly.
No, for real. Like I back growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, almost everyone had decorations on the holidays, and then progressively as I got older in the different neighborhoods I had to downgrade to, it seems, no one puts up any decorations anymore.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
seriously, there's like 3 houses on my neighborhood that has decorations up, and a couple of them are just like a couple things. Some of the
Right.
houses I used to see back in Colorado were just like tricked out, especially in Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Christmas a lot better.
Oh yeah, we should go check out a house I have. It's in Broomfield, I believe. I'll show you guys. There's like 2 houses combine their lights.
Really?
Yeah, they have
Wow.
like strands going back and forth. It's really cool. Probably a
Wow.
lot of electricity usage though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cool.
So kind of in the news today, I was kind of looking at some stuff. There was an article that was posted actually a little while back, so it's not really news. But it was CNN actually did an interview with Parkour Generations. So that was pretty cool. Just kind of that it made it, into a news story. Just a lot of the ideas that Dan Edwards put out. He's the founder and director of Parkour Generations. He kind of talks a lot about the kind of like psychological aspects of getting over fear and whatnot. The safety behind it. It's a really great article if you guys want to look into it. Just kind of search it on CNN. Look for Parkour Generations. Pretty sweet.
Nice.
Very nice.
Also, I guess Storm Freerunning, they are currently going across America right now, shooting a feature film, kind of along the lines of what Jesse LaFleur did, I guess, and they're just hitting up like local gyms. Um, they might come to one near you. I'm not sure. I haven't really. I couldn't find one, anyways. Couldn't find like a gym list that they're going to be going to. Um, but so far, they've been to New York and Toronto. Today's episode was Toronto. Yesterday's was New York. So, yeah, definitely go to check them out on YouTube. Just Storm Freerun, and you can check out their episodes. They're only like 3 minutes, so pretty good, pretty quick, pretty fast.
Nice, nice. And then over in Los Angeles, there is going to be, I believe, American Parkour is holding it or hosting it or something like that. They are doing a Venice Jam, and it looks like they're gonna meet up at the Mark Twain Middle School, I believe, at 11 o'clock. Walk from location to location, and at Venice Beach at 5 o'clock, which is cool. So what it seems like to me, the first thing I thought of is kind of like those group bicycle rides, except for parkour. So that's what I thought of about it. So if you guys are in that area, or if you want to go over to that area, definitely want to search that up. It's on the APK website, and it's in Los Angeles, California. So head on over there if you're in the area, for sure.
Nice.
Anyways, just kind of, I'll let you guys know what our goal is with this podcast. It's kind of become our motto, and we're going to say it during every podcast. And our goal of this podcast is to enlighten those who want to be informed, to inform those who need encouragement, and to encourage those who are already engaging in the art of movement. And this is Parkour.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Shall
Today
we
we're
into
kinda-
our topics of today?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
What?
Training.
Training. Yes. Training.
It's kind of important.
It's very important.
Kind of. There's a little bit of importance to it. I mean, whatever.
Well, first we should talk about people want to know like how to start off brand new. Like, say someone that has never really done almost anything like this before.
Parkour,
they
free
just want to
running.
get right into it. Like not even like too many physical activities. Like what's their best bet to get into it? Like start progressing and maybe build themselves up physically to get into.
Yeah. I'd say that wanting it is the first step.
Yeah.
Having that drive to go and jump around, play around outside. That's basically the lifestyle that parkour is. You're going outside, you're playing around. You're moving, you just get yourself moving, and everything you do, whether you realize it or not, you're kind of training your body to be a little more agile. You're training yourself with your coordination.
It's like it's not just training your body, it's training your mind.
Oh yeah.
And your spirit and your soul.
That's actually the title on that CNN.
Is it really?
Yeah, training the brain to push the body beyond its limits. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. A lot of psychological stuff.
Glad I'm not the only one that thinks that then.
Yeah, right.
Because the biggest thing that every person is going to deal with, and I'm sure everyone has in the parkour world, is fear. Fear of doing the backflip, fear of jumping that gap, anything, no matter what form of running you do, free running, parkour, tricking, anything, you have that fear, and you got to get over it. And it starts with progression. Well, yeah, right. Fear is the bad part of it. Knowing your limits is the part that you never want to forget.
Yeah, definitely. There's been people who have not really thought about their limits, or they're like, oh yeah, I don't really care. I haven't really tried this, but I'll try it anyways, and it's either resulted in injury, serious injury, or just like even death, sadly. Just because people don't pay attention to what their limits are, you know.
Yeah, like
No,
if you
like,
go on YouTube, I'm sure a lot of people have done it, especially in the parkour industry, where you go on YouTube and you search parkour fails, top 10 parkour fails or whatever.
Yeah.
The one that I
You
thought
see
of
a
when we
lot of
were
messed up stuff.
yes, the one that I was thinking of. There's two that I thought of specifically for this. One of them doesn't really count, but the first one I thought of was this kid. I'm sure everyone has seen this, but he climbs up on this. I don't know what he climbs up on the first, but he jumps to a weak, like those sheets of metal that kind of ridged that go on top stuff.
Yeah.
You know that exactly what I'm talking about? And he
Yep,
jumps
I
onto
do.
that. It's like, you gotta know that those things are flimsy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's you can bend it with your hands.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
He's jumping. He's
Onto it.
going to jump onto it.
Yes.
Getting into physics, you've got law of conservation of momentum, you've got all that stuff.
Exactly.
Rate of acceleration due to gravity, impulse, that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
The
Yeah.
geeky stuff.
The nerdy stuff.
yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us are guilty of something similar.
Oh, yep.
Like my
do something
very
stupid.
first parkour mistake was something along those lines. I was trying to jump on bins. I'm sure I've talked about it on the podcast before. And I was jumping on like empty like storage bins or plastic, and they bend just so
Oh,
easily.
yeah.
And I fell and didn't. I had locked I locked my knee and just was like, oh, okay, I'm not doing that. Didn't seriously hurt myself. But another thing I was getting into is, it just seems like some people have to learn it the hard way.
Yeah.
Some things just can't be avoided, and sometimes you just have to learn it the hard way. I've just seen it that way because you can tell someone, know your limits as much as you can, but sometimes they're still gonna get hurt. Not saying you will.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're not going to either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, for some people, learning the hard way makes it stick.
Yep. Exactly.
Sometimes, yeah.
On the plastic
Yep.
bins anymore.
Yep. Yeah. I definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
I jump on metal bins now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually practicing precisions the other day, and I was like actually doing fairly well for my progress, and I was actually like yeah, I just want to keep trying precisions and like keep going past. I'm like, I want to see how far I can do it and everything, and like I got to a point where I just didn't really think about like surroundings, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really bad, but it happened a few times. I would like go jump to something, and then like it'd be a big old wobbly rock, and then I'd slide off it on accident.
Yep.
Or I'd jump to like a cement curb, and there was like a bush in front of it, and the leaves caught under my feet, and I slid there. I'm like, geez, okay.
Yeah.
I need to focus. Okay.
I've had almost the same exact instances of that happen before, especially the unstable rocks. I've had that happen to me so many times, especially where I like slam my shin on a few things, and that's just one of the worst. One of the worst minor injuries you could ever suffer in parkour is slamming your knee or slamming your shin.
Yep.
Hey,
I did that the other day
yeah.
too.
Everybody on Twitter and stuff should let us know what's worse, slamming your knee or your shin, because I've always had that debate between a few people in the parkour industry. Is what's worse? What do you guys think is worse?
I don't have a whole lot of experience slamming my knees, but more so my shins. So I'm gonna go ahead and say shins because I don't do the bone density exercises and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, every now and then I'm like, ow, that hurt.
Yeah.
But it's not. I haven't had too bad of experiences.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Fingers right.
right.
Knock on wood.
I don't want to injure my knee, please no. Well, let's see. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was practicing again, just really basic parkour, no free running. I've been trying to work on just parkour, and I tried to go up on something higher, and my foot reacted, like just out of habit, and my foot went down for some reason because I think I was trying to just like my mind was like,
I
oh
see what
no,
you're
I want a
getting at.
flamingo, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Or
my
crane.
my shin just like slammed right into the corner of the box,
Yeah, I know exactly
and
that.
that felt great.
Yep.
But I mean, I wasn't doing. On the other hand, I wasn't doing parkour. I wasn't doing any of that really. I fell through like a 10-foot little warehouse room. That was interesting, and I went
Wow.
knee first.
Yep.
But I don't know, they're both pretty bad.
Yep.
The knee one lasted longer though.
Yeah, that's
But I
how I
would
see it too. For some reason, I get nauseous when I hit my knee when I
really.
slam it on something because I've done it before. I was doing like some people call this move something different all over the world, but it's I've known it as QM, is where you're on your all fours moving around like a monkey. It's for people who don't know it by name. And I slammed my knee into a pole, and I had to go
Ooh.
sit down and drink water because I was getting very lightheaded from how weirdly it affected my body. I don't know why, but
Huh.
so I'll say knee. But however, let's get back on topic on how to start new with we were talking about the mental breakdown and stuff.
Right.
To overcome the fear of what you're trying to do is progression. That's the
Yeah.
only way I've ever been able to overcome it. And just telling yourself you can do it when you know you can't. If you don't know you can, then you might need to backtrack a little bit. It just depends on what you're starting with. You don't never want to start with the big stuff first. Like one of my first things I want to start with was doing the backflip, and that was a mistake because I couldn't do it. So you start with precisions. Just make sure you should check yourself, see how far you can jump, measure it. I always used to lay measuring tape on the ground and just jump and see how far I can go and mark it down and
Right.
see about how high I can jump, standing, running, all that. You just want to do some self tests and see where you are, and never let it discourage you if you're not anywhere near where you think you want to be. You can always change that. You can always start running in the morning or start doing some leg exercises. It's really not that bad. And but when you start getting into the moves like precisions and Kongs and all that, I had a friend of mine that just recently got the Kong down, and he's been trying to do it for so long. And some people, that stuff comes naturally. Like I was able to do the Kong super quick when I first got into it, but some people, for some things, they don't get into it as quick. So it just might also take time. Trial and error. You cannot be so hard on yourself. That's what I always did. Is I always told myself, "Oh, I'm so frustrated. Why can't I do this? I'm seeing all these people online do it, and it's like, why can't I just do it?" And the day I get it, I'm just like, "All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Got it. Done."
Definitely. I know
So-
that feeling.
Yep. So never
Definitely.
beat yourself up. That's the biggest thing. And know your limits. Test yourself. Progress. Use mats. Go to your there's parkour gyms all over the place now, especially if you're listening to this while you're in Colorado, like most of us are.
Yep. I was gonna say that next. I was gonna say another big part of it is just finding. It helped us this year specifically, because we honestly haven't really gotten training from an actual professional.
Yeah,
you know.
actually
I see how it is.
Um,
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we were always just kind of doing it in the grass, kind of looking up
Yeah.
videos on YouTube, be like, oh, that's a
Yep.
cool thing, I want to try it, or just exercising ourselves. But yeah, parkour gyms are huge.
They will do wonders for your training.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a safer environment than going up and doing a jump between two buildings.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
not going to hurt yourself as easily if you
Because they
prepare
do-
yourself properly.
They do tend to offer classes, and that's how I got how far that's most of the reason how far I've come today. If that made sense, because I can't talk today. Is from some of the classes I took being taught by professionals. But it's not all just going to come to you with one class or two classes or a bunch of classes. Sometimes you just got to experience it. And actually, I'd say all the time you got to experience it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I guess that'll tie in pretty well to our next subject, which is physical conditioning. We ourselves I could say we're pretty fit, but it doesn't come with doing anything mostly before parkour. Sometimes you just got to start getting into it. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're very physically not able to do some of the things, yeah, you might want to start some exercises, like I said, but it never hurts to exercise. However, with me, when I just was like, oh, I'm gonna do parkour, it'll be fun, and I took the classes, it wasn't all just fun and games. It was they warmed you up, and then they started teaching you stuff, and then at the end of the day, they had to do workouts, and they were not easy workouts.
Yeah.
They were very difficult, doing things that vary from a couple exercises but so many reps in a certain amount of time, or running a whole obstacle course several times for like a half hour or something along those lines. Maybe not that, maybe like 15 minutes, but it felt like a half hour.
Right.
So, exactly. And it hurts, it burns, but it pays off. Like, I can tell you, that's how I first started getting fit. And just a quick note, one of the first things that helped me so much that I improved on with my physicalness with parkour is my climb ups, which is triceps.
Yeah. Climb ups. I can't do climb ups. To be honest, no.
They're challenging, and I can do them. Probably, I haven't tried them in a little while, but I can't do it like some people, like where they go onto a wall and they just go whoop right up. I kind of have to struggle a little.
Okay, that one's a little different. For some, okay, I can't just do like a workout of climb ups.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I can't. No. I can do just like get up on the wall easily, but
Yeah.
I can't just like keep doing like muscle ups.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
those are two different workouts. Like, I've had to do a workout of the day that was climb ups, and then they also had me do a workout of the day that was muscle ups.
Gotcha.
They're kind of they work the same ish muscles, but I'd say climb ups are more. You get on a wall and you climb up like you're going to like go up to half cat, like, you know,
Okay.
your waist is at the top kind of thing. Your arms are completely extended, and then you go back down and do it again. It's a fantastic workout because they teach you. The first thing I was ever taught was to never, or not never, but when you're doing a climb up or anything, almost anything in parkour, you want to tuck your arms in.
Yeah.
Use your triceps. When you're doing a climb up, you don't want to have your arms out at your sides as much as you can. You want to tuck them in because it's a little easier that way because you're using your triceps. And that helped me so much. So just a quick tip for anyone out there who's struggling with any climb ups: do tricep push-ups, do climb ups. They help a lot. So
right.
I would say back workouts are very valuable. Cardio and back are very valuable for
cardio. Is the devil.
It's hard. And I still struggle with it to this day, but it'll keep you going if you improve your cardio early, and then you go into it with a good amount of cardio in you. Then you can keep going and going and going instead of having to take breaks constantly like I do.
Yeah, for me it was a little different just because I grew up part of my life at really high altitude, and it was kind of the developmental stages of my life. So, running around a whole lot. I was always a really hyperactive kid that was doing crazy things all the time. So that helped kind of build the lung capacity and stuff. And then I moved down to really low elevation and was the cross-country star for a little while. Just because I had that already built up.
Yep.
And I just kept doing it. And then just kind of staying in sports just at all times, whatever sport was going on. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that sport. It'll help me stay in shape.
Yep.
It's always, something good to do, especially if you have friends to do it with.
Yeah, that's definitely something that helps, just having friends to do that stuff with. Because when I first started working out, I would go to the gym alone, and I was able to do it for a while, but just later on, it's boring.
Yeah.
Because parkour is parkour. That's a fun workout, but if you need to really increase something on your like physical fitness, oh sorry, that was my phone. Then you gotta sometimes just go hit the gym or something like that.
Yeah, and it can
go
get
for a run.
tedious, trying to improve something, one specific aspect.
Yeah, and it's just having someone there with you is motivation.
Yeah.
Like,
Kind of
e-
lightens the mood a little bit too.
Yeah. And even if like
Definitely.
the other person isn't like say you're the person that's kind of like coaching them.
hmm
Like for me, I've been in that situation a few times, and just me doing that motivates me enough to start doing more stuff myself. So
Yeah.
it's always good to have a buddy with that. So socialize, parkour world.
Yeah,
It's good.
definitely. I know that for sure. Like what you guys are saying, it really helps to have someone to work out with. Because if I'm by myself, I'll come up with a routine and I will follow through with it maybe for like maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4, and then I'll like miss one day. I'll just fall away from it from there.
Yep.
And it's just I mean, I like getting into it, but it's way easier doing it with 2 people or 3 people, which is just another way the parkour community is very handy because you're working out, but you're working out with people.
Yeah.
And you don't need any special equipment.
Nope.
You need your feet.
You need your hands and your
Yeah.
feet and a good pair of eyes.
Yep.
Probably some clothes if you don't.
I mean,
probably
Maybe a
guitar.
brain would be good.
Yeah.
Clothes are optional, brain too. I mean,
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah, you're in a closed environment in the gym. You can take off.
If they're cool with that,
You
know.
go with you. You do you, man. You
You
gotta
do you.
Parkour gym. Dude, we should start it.
Oh my god.
Freedom.
Yeah.
The ideas we come up with.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
That'll
Yeah.
give a whole new aspect to free running.
Oh my.
Yeah, know where
Wow.
I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
No, that's terrible.
We're gonna have like a gravel pit instead of a foam pit. Calluses on your bare feet.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah, man. I've never really, in my history of just like physical activities, I haven't really done anything, to be honest. I was never in any sports or anything. I was in like football in 8th grade for like a little bit. I did not enjoy that.
Football.
I wanted to do track, but it was always too late or I'd forget or something like that. So the only thing I ever did was skateboarding, but that doesn't really work out anything but like your ankles and up, I guess. Ankles to your like knees. Maybe
You'd be
thighs, too.
surprised. You'd be surprised. It's all kind of cardio. It just depends
Yeah.
on how you're doing it.
A lot of skateboarders have some pretty insane back muscles too.
That's true.
It just-
Yeah.
I just never really got to a point where I started like feeling anything
Yeah.
because I couldn't really do anything, and it didn't help that I broke my arm, and it was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this, because I felt like I didn't have any control when I was skateboarding. But that's why I saw parkour and I was like, oh man, there's so much more control.
Yeah.
Yep, really.
And
Skateboard ball and chain.
yeah, and so parkour became just my physical activity.
And yeah, that's almost exactly my story too. However, I just besides the whole like growing up in a neighborhood with people the same age, you just get that childhood workout by running around the neighborhood doing crazy water balloon fights and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I never did any sports. The only one I know is I did t-ball when I was like an infant almost.
Yeah.
Which doesn't count because I don't even remember it. So
I crawled for many days as a baby. For many days I crawled.
so that was
Yep.
just kind of my thing too. Is parkour is what got me into being fit. So if anything, it's motivation, and I know that just having a trampoline helped. That's what really
Oh yeah.
But-
Yeah. Well, there was that too. I had a
but-
trampoline.
Yeah, but that the only reason I ever had a trampoline was because I got into parkour. Because growing up, I was never allowed to have a trampoline because they were dangerous.
Oh.
And true, but learning
Yeah.
parkour first, like I remember one time, just parkour can save your life. Seriously, people, like
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you guys. I know it's happened to you guys before, and I was jumping on trampoline, did something weird, and I started falling off the trampoline, and the way I saved it was I rolled, but I rolled on the trampoline, but it was off of the trampoline. Like I rolled off of it, and
Yeah.
however, I rolled just perfectly, I guess, right over the springs, and it just walked off.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, look, I'm on the ground now. And several times I've somehow fallen off trampoline, and I just roll it out and just jump right back on.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
it kind of reminds me of a buddy of mine. Actually, he does videos and stuff for, he gets hired to do videos for like baseball games, football games, stuff. He goes out and records that so that teams have that to refer to. But at one specific one, he was climbing down the ladder off of like a big box thing and fell backwards and landed on his feet, but managed to tear all the tendons from
Ooh.
all the bone and muscle, and it was a mess. He was in some boots for a good 2 months.
Oy.
Sheesh.
And yeah, there wasn't a whole lot he could do about it, but he came to me shortly thereafter and said, dude, teach me parkour. If I knew basic parkour, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And
I know.
That's true.
I know, like, when I said earlier, when I fell through that ceiling, which it was basically, I should have seen my surroundings, but there was, it's like a cubicle office, ceiling tile,
Yeah.
super thin,
Yep.
almost like foam,
Yep.
kind of cardboard. So I went to step over some coolers, and I was stepping over that, and my foot, it held me for maybe like 2 seconds, and I started falling into it more. Well, like, it would have been a lot worse. I know that much. Thankfully, I know it sounds bad, but I landed on my knees. I didn't know it at the time because it was all the adrenaline rush, but my body just automatically reacted to reaching back to try to grab the ledge. And I know that I probably, if I didn't have somewhat of an idea of parkour free running training, what little I have anyways, I probably would have just flailed, and
Yeah.
it just would have not have turned out good.
True.
So that I would say helped me out for sure.
All right, and that can lead another way into our, I guess that's already talking about a little bit, is safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safety. With all these things we talk about now is the
Knowing your
safety.
surroundings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Knowing your limitations.
Shut up, guys.
Obviously, with all the other things we talk about, safety should be the first thing you think of. If you don't
Yeah.
think you can jump that gap, then you need to
Don't
go
jump
physical conditioning more, or
Please don't.
no, and then you're knowing how to start by doing that, I guess, and then
Yeah.
then you got safety. So all of it ties into one. Yay! So yeah, be safe. You don't want to end up like those people in the YouTube fail videos.
Yeah.
There's some pretty bad ones, and sometimes it is an accident.
Yeah,
That's just-
and like
but-
I said before, sometimes you just can't help it. I've had
Yeah.
several accidents, and I've been instructed by professionals. Dare I say, they're professionals. So, like, sometimes it just happens. It catches you off guard, or it just happens. Something moves when you don't even anticipate it to, or
Yep.
breaks even, and it doesn't even look like it would. My thing was I was doing a side flip from a planter to another planter, like a tree planter, big ones. And I did it several times, and then just something randomly happened in me that said, "Oh, I can't do it." Land on my back,
Yep.
and I didn't get majorly hurt. I just got the wind knocked out of me, laid there for a few minutes, and then got up and went home, and I was fine the next day. So
Yeah.
not always it's that lucky though. Some people do get hurt. It just happens. But if you can know how to prevent it, then that's way better. So
Yeah.
the best thing I can say to learn first, back to how to start new and physical conditioning and safety again, is learn that roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
The role is huge.
definitely need to learn how to roll first,
And
or
The art
how
of
to
falling.
fall. Yeah.
yeah. Learn
Need
the
to learn that.
learn the proper landing, and then learn the roll, because they tie into each other.
Yes.
If we want to be nerds, then we can talk about impulse and all that stuff.
And you can be. I don't know any of that stuff.
For me, I know because I tend to do this, and it causes me either to uh, mess up my tricks or whatever, which is to not push yourself too much if you are practicing something trying to get it, because this ties into safety as far as if you keep doing it and you're just getting worse, you're gonna either hurt yourself or you're not gonna get that trick for a long time. Because what is it like? You learn something, like it takes how long to learn something? Like
It's like, what was it, like 60 or 70 accomplished
Basically,
attempts
yeah.
before you
Yeah.
have it like muscle memory where you can't really lose it. But if you train yourself wrong, then it takes 3 times as much
right,
to erase
your mind
and
rewires.
rebuild it.
And for me, I know that if I don't practice at least once a week, and I don't know why, but the way my body works, my mind works, is I forget things. And when that happens, I get frustrated. When I get frustrated, I keep practicing. And when I keep practicing with the frustration, I mess up my tricks. Like, for example,
Make it worse.
we were trying to practice for the festival, and I was just losing things, super basic things. And I was like, crap, I can't do this. Crap, I can't do this. And that didn't really lead to a safety issue, but if I
It
didn't,
can.
it can.
It absolutely
Like
can.
if I would have just pushed myself and be like, I don't care if I trust myself or not, and I would have just gone for it, I could have probably hurt myself seriously, or
Yep.
Usually also if I don't practice for a while, my thighs get sore like really fast, and if I keep practicing with sore thighs, they get worse and worse to where it's hard to walk on. I
Yep.
don't know why, but that's how I work. So I honestly need to
Happens to my
practice within
arms.
reason. I need to practice within reason to keep up with my athletics and all that. So that's kind of safety for me, and just to trust myself again, and to know what the difference between fear and limits, I guess.
Yep, for sure. I've had similar things like that happen to me. Like, I'm kind of an impatient person. That's my problem with everything I do. Is a lot of things nowadays or ever you need patience, and with parkour, yeah, you do, because sometimes you just got to know when to stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's definitely a good thing you brought that up, Jeremiah, because one time I was trying to get my front flip. I haven't done any flips yet, and I was so determined to get my flips, one of them, and I was trying so hard to do it, and I just kept landing low, and I was getting super frustrated with it, and then I gave up for that night, which I guess was a good move. But then I got sick. I got a bad cold, but I was impatient, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back out and work on it more again while I'm sick, and that was a mistake because I lost it. I lost it that very night.
Yeah.
So, if you're sick, take a day off or take a couple days off. You don't want to do it while you're sick, because that will screw you up. Unless you're just one of those people that has like a wicked immune system and you can barely feel when you're sick.
Yeah.
Props to you. But for most of us, yeah, you got to know when to stop. If you're hurting, probably take a break for a few, at least.
Yep.
If you're sick, yeah, you definitely want to stop for a little bit. Or
Freaking
if
thighs.
My arms do it too. My arms do it too. I do too many laches too.
Yep.
So
So also, sorry.
go ahead.
Also, quick thing about safety. You really, really, really want to make sure you stretch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
take it from me, because I never do it, and it's just terrible.
Russell, how's stretching for you?
Stretching is a wonderful thing. If I don't do it, I usually throw out my back, and I have trouble walking.
Oh dang.
Even getting out of bed
Yeah,
to go to the
he
bathroom.
looks like Notre Dame,
Yeah, I
like
literally
Hunchback of
have
Notre
to-
Dame.
That's
Holy.
terrible.
my muscles just get so tight and pull on everything, and it throws my back completely.
Bro,
out of
you
whack,
need a
and I just-
massage.
I know. That's why I got me a girlfriend.
But definitely
Stretch before and after, folks.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, even afterhand is a good thing because most people don't think about that. I know for sure
I could
we
go
don't
on-
think about that all
yeah.
the time.
I
I'm
feel like
terrible.
beforehand is a little more important.
Yeah,
because
I'm
kinda-
terrible. I never stretch. Even when I just work out, I'm so sore right now from a few workouts I did for the past few days, and that's my own fault.
Mhm.
And because I just
I
don't,
used to never stretch.
yeah,
And
and
it was great.
yeah, because it saves you time and pain. But then you
Yeah.
deal with it the next day. But
Yep.
it can help. It warm up too. That's definitely a good thing too. Is stretch, warm up. That's how they always did it in the classes I took. They stretch you out, warm you up, and then they stretch you out when you're done after you do a wicked workout.
Yep. They
So-
will literally make you or break you.
Yes. Yes, you're right. And so if you don't believe us and you don't stretch
Oh,
right now,
jeez.
do your own thing a few times and then try stretching or warm up,
go stretch right now.
Take 2 years
Yeah.
off.
Do stretch.
And then try doing it without stretching.
Exactly.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it now. Go on the floor right now and stretch. Go stretch.
Do your hams, do your quads, do your gastrocs, do your
Calves.
friggin' that's gastrocs. I believe, if my anatomy is correct, which I don't trust it all the time, so never mind. But yeah, learn the landing. That's the first thing. Actually, I think that was the first thing they taught me when I first started my level 1 classes. Is they taught me the frog landing, which is what they called it. I call it, and the roll. The roll is so difficult to get, especially when you're starting new. So don't let it get to you if you're not getting it. Keep doing it because you want, and don't ever just say, "Oh, I'll learn it another day." Learn it first because it will open up doors to so many other things.
Yep.
And you can start learning backwards
You will
rolls and
save
stuff.
yourself.
You will
Those
literally
are-
save yourself, especially if you don't think you're ever gonna do something crazy, jumping off something high. You never know when it's accidentally gonna happen. You never know when you're in the moment and you're jumping this, jumping that, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to this," and then you jump, and then there's a gap you there for some reason,
Yeah.
and then
Or
it drops
you're-
down, and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, you're running through a field and you accidentally step in a hole.
Yeah.
You could face plant, or you could have it second nature to where you roll out of it and you
Yep.
go
Yeah.
back up. and
Dive
you're still
rolls.
running.
Definitely.
That'll help.
I've seen along these lines a good thing you could do, which will help you in the future if it ever happens, which it will, is practice bailing.
Yes.
So like if you're
Please.
practice just different scenarios of if you were to like front flip wrong or precision wrong, how you would come out of that. If you practice that and get that like in your mind, when that happens, you're just gonna know right away like, okay, this is what I kind of need to prepare
Yes.
for. And if worse comes to worse, yeah, you might be screwed, but for the
More
most
likely.
part, you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
bailing, knowing how to bail is just like it will help you out.
Yes, learn the basics first, which is all the safety stuff, which is the roll, the landing, and yeah, bails are a fantastic addition to that. If it hasn't been already, I'm sure they are, like bail practice.
Yeah.
Because I've never done that, and I bet that would have helped me with that side flip incident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
if you're even a little bit sketched out about a certain jump, I was actually watching a video not too long ago on David Bell, going over how he approaches things, and a lot of times if he's not sure about something, he'll practice the bail first. So he'll go do the jump and then like pop off the wall or whatever he's going to and bail out of it, so he knows exactly what to do if he fails.
Yeah.
Right, but that's a very highly trained individual, and
That's
So-
true.
you
So-
can do something like that, but not to that extent, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Always
do it to
prepare
your
yourself.
level again. Again, do it within
Always
your
at
limits.
your
Limits. We can't stress that enough. Limits.
Yes, you need to figure out your limits because you don't want to go outside that by accident.
Right. And you don't want to be under that limit either, to where you're
Yeah.
scared to do something, but you know,
Yeah,
which
don't
I
hold
have a lot of trouble with. But you don't want to be like, oh, I easily landed this like 100 times, like over, you know.
Yep.
But I can't do this little area because it's a different scenery, which that's like me. Like,
Yeah.
I am the number one fan of that club. So,
You have jackets.
definitely, which I'm getting better at it.
Yeah. We were working on it a little bit earlier this week.
Hmm.
We were doing a certain thing, and it just seemed like you figured it out at one angle, and you wanted to try it at a different angle.
Yeah.
And it threw you off for a second. But then you kind of looked at it a little bit different, and you're like, "Oh, it's the same exact movement." And then you did
Right.
it. And you're like, "Oh, okay,
Yep.
that works better."
I
So
started
you're
getting my
working into
mind
it.
past
Yeah.
that barrier. So,
Very nice.
yeah. Cool. All right. So, I guess that brings us to the end of this podcast. Do you have anything to say about it?
It's always
Alright.
fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah,
Aw.
it's great.
You're a
That-
doll.
that- dude, it's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You're like a GI Joe to me, man.
GI bro.
Nice. So if you have any questions for us, you can go to our Facebook or Twitter and tag us, and just if you're confused about something.
Instagram, you know, we're all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah, if we didn't touch on any subject you guys think we should have, or if we left something out, what we talked
Yep,
about
if you-
tonight, let us
If you have
know.
concerns,
Yep, or
because we probably
questions.
did. We probably definitely left some stuff out.
Oh yeah, we always will, but that's what we
But
have
yeah.
you guys for. Correct us, so
Yep.
and we'll be happy to answer it on the podcast.
But yeah, you can find us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, which is what this podcast will be going to, and YouTube. We are actually working on 2 new videos and doing more podcasts now. We're doing a weekly schedule.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, definitely thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you in the future.
Bye-bye.
Bye.